So to continue with my newfound wokeness, I want to speak about modern men because, to be honest, I spoke about toxic masculinity in a previous video. People like Andrew Tate and Russell Brand, and all these other toxic males and the mentality that they've got. And I didn't actually give any credit to modern day men because, in my opinion, modern day men are so much better. And a lot of these modern day men have now decided to completely move away from toxic masculinity or masculinity of any description, to be honest. And I think that's absolutely brilliant, that they've done that. And, the fact that they've abandoned toxicity and masculinity and misogyny is great. Everybody who looks at that situation should say it's absolutely brilliant. I mean, now, it's not actually that rare of an occurrence now to see men walking around cities and towns, dressed in really nice feminine clothing, and they look after the hair and they look after the nails and they have pedicures and they look after themselves and, they even wear a face full of makeup and everything like that. And I just look at it and I just think that is brilliant. That is so progressive. And I know some people would say, that these men are not manly and, they're not actually real men. Some people would say they're not men in the head. Like they haven't got the mentality of the traditional old-fashioned men. But I say bullshit. I mean, why aren't they real men? What, they're not real men? Because they're in touch with the feminine side. Just because they're wearing a pair of tights and a dress with makeup, that means they're not a real man. I mean, obviously the real men, the proper men. But people say, that if there's a war on, that we'd be fucked because of these new modern men. Do you know what I mean? That they would struggle to fight for us. But, you can't send people to war when they're worried about breaking nails and, their hair falling out of place and the makeup getting smudged. But I don't agree with any of that. I mean, like I say, I think these modern men are brilliant and, men from previous generations have been intolerant and toxic and full of misogyny and rowdy and loud, bunch of football hooligans and all this stuff, trashing the place. Whereas these modern men, they're not like that at all, they're more like women and it's progressive. It's nice to see men behaving more like women. I mean, I'd love to see a world where all men behave like that. I mean, just imagine how brilliant it would be to live in a world where all men, or at least the vast majority of men, dress and behave like Boy George or Sam Smith. I mean, you look at these, especially Sam Smith, you look at him and you just think, only a real man would do what Sam Smith does. I mean, it's so brave and he is absolutely stunning. But I know some people say that he's a freak and he looks like something out of Hellraiser, but I don't agree with that. Like, I mean, like I say, I think Sam Smith is a brilliant artist and, he's definitely in touch with his feminine side. And it's not a mental illness, obviously not. It's actually art. Sam Smith is an artist. And these modern day men are absolutely fantastic.